are not signed, minutes are not approved. When we function once a week, that also for 3 hours, how can we Comunidade function if you don't have administrator in its place? So we need a full-time administrator. If you don't have, before this, you elect anybody during Congress time, I remember. Even other non-IAS officers were elected. So why don't we have somebody else, even choose somebody to convention?
Yeah, that's an administrator. That is a very good point.
Secondly, the skill round comes once a week. But here, even as somebody mentioned, there are 9 comunidades. Even God worked for 6 days. How will the skill round work for 9 days? So actually what he does, he opens the comunidade, checks the mail, closes and goes to another comunidade. And what happens to our work? We have minutes to be written, managing committee minutes to meet.
What is your suggestion, sir?
My suggestion is that we should have a full-time skill round, full-time administrator. Otherwise, it is not possible to function.
My name is Ramiro Mascarenas and I am a component of Comunidade. Our Escrimo was transferred 4 months back, and Escrimo who has been transferred to our Comunidade has not taken charge, nor he has shown his face for the past 4
kind request. Each Comunidade has its own difficulty.
So the administrator, we have been talking to the administrator's office. They have not been able to take any action. So this is to be noted.
Thank you.
हांव संदेश प्रभुदेसाय शिरोडा कम्युनिटीचो प्रेसिडेंट. प्रॉब्लेम कितें जाता की आमकां इश्क्रम जे दिले आसा एक्चुअली आमी सेंट्रल झोना पडटा. माय रिक्वेस्ट इज आमगे सगळे एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन जे पोंडा हे आसा ते एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन सगळे सावथा चलता. पण आमकां कितें हें आसल्यार आमकां सेंट्रला येवचें पडटा. आमचें फर्स्ट हें कितें आसा की आमी सेंट्रला जे आसात ते आमकां सावथा घालचें आमची एक रिक्वेस्ट. सेकंड थिंग आमकां इश्क्रम जे आसा एक्चुअली सेंट्रल झोनाक 22 कितें इश्क्रम आशिल्ले पयलीं, पण आतां आमकां जस्ट 4च इश्क्रम आसात आनी तेय बी फूल टायम ना. म्हयन्याक एकदां केन्ना येता आनी एक इश्क्रमाक 4-4, 5-5 कमुलदारी दिल्ली आसात. सो ते कामाक ते हें करूं शकना आनी आमकां कितें हें करपा मिटींग हें घेतलाय ते येवपाचें ते येना. सो माय रिक्वेस्ट इज की आमचो एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव्ह स्टाफ जो आसा जो इश्क्रम आसा तो वाडोवचो. एक रिक्वेस्ट.
Sir, just one point. First point, also something. First point,
फर्स्ट पॉइंट आम्ही सेंट्रल झोनाक शिरोडा जे आसा सेंट्रल झोन आम्ही एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन सर्व वर्क जे आसा गव्हर्नमेंटाचे.
There is a problem of jurisdiction.
Jurisdiction.
You come under South Goa collector, but
नो एक्चुअली साउथ गोवा, पण आमचे जे आसा कमुलदारी जे आसा ते सेंट्रल झोन आसा. So my request is.
So your collector is actually South Goa collector.
South.
You are reporting to the North Goa.
No.
Okay. Point is noted.
Yes, thank you. Even the iskram जे आसा ते आमगे इस्क्रम फुल टाइम दिवचे आशिल्ले.
The problem of Iskram also keep in mind that they have to be paid a salary. So Amchekar Comunidades are in such a bad shape. So even though we may want a full-time Iskram with us 6 days a week, I'm speaking from my own experience. Can we afford the salaries? That is a call that we have to take. We may want a full-time administrator. We have to pay him his salary.
No, still 22 आशिल्ले ते just 4 आसात.
That is the point.
Just 4. And एक कमुलदारी 8-8, 6-7 दिल्ले आसात.
Depending on the financial condition of each comunidad, you all can appoint. We should propose that on contract basis. We can.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. I'm Mariano Ferro, Sanjistiva Comunidade Treasurer. Okay, my point is that iskram hota ham boite eka iskram 7 comunidade दिल्या पाहिजे आणि त्याका एडॉप बेसिस हा पेमेंट सारखं मिळवणं त्याची कंटेला येतात ट्रान्सपोर्टेशन ना देतात सॅलरीज मिळवणं याच्या आता सांगायचं सांगा 24 इयर्स झाली याच्यार हा म्हणून कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट बेसिस. सो ह्या कोमुनिदादीचे आम्ही इतले गांवकार आहा और कोमुनिदादी आहा तांकां एक स्किरा आमकां दवरचो फुडली कामां लावपाक पळयता एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन आनी ह्यो परमनंट बेसिसाचेर गव्हर्मेंट इतलो आमकां गव्हर्मेंटा कडेन इतले फंड्स आहा कोमुनिदादी तितले लँड घेता वाय नॉट ह्यो स्किरा आमकां ह्यो मेळपाक ताका पेमेंट करून instead of making them temporary आहा पळय ते हेचे करता परमनंट करून आमकां एका कोमुनिदादीक इस्किरान दवरचो. जाल्यार फुडें आमची कामां जायना. याच्या रेझोल्युशनाचेर घेवचे. थँक्यू.
I'm Shirish Kamath, attorney of Comunidade. In respect of this resolution, this point, I would like to bring forth one certain this. We have got a lot of cooperative societies in Goa, which are owned by the respective institutions. All those cooperative societies building this. We have got an office of Register of Cooperative Societies. Now this is all this is managed by the government, paid by the government. In our code of Comunidade, I don't recollect the exact this, but we have got the power of the government to appoint the staff. You see, and the staff, what I got when we go, though Dharam is not this point, but when this staff's salaries are to be drawn, they are shown in the claims for the Dharamas.
Your point is each Comunidade should be given the option to appoint.
No, my point is just like the Register of Cooperative Societies, the government should consider appointing, means managing all those staffs under a particular this, because the staffs are appointed by the government and the salary for the staff is claimed from us. One more thing which all should resolve is, I don't know, Mr. Dona brought up a point regarding South Zone illegal appointment or legal. I'm not going into that. But I think that there should be parity in appointment of all the staffs, and they should all be taken under the government. And I've been told that some 3 crores have already been sanctioned, and I don't understand why. See, I'm from Comunidade. I remember going through some these calculations wherein they are showing the staff salaries from our list.
No, there is an issue of the preparation of budgets also by administrators.
Absolutely.
Problem we face in South.
That has been when the Dharama issue because the Dharama also is another issue.
Yes.
But this, I propose that government should consider our days. We should put some sort of resolution to the government, wherein just like administrators are all functioning like deputy registrars of a cooperative housing society. If we just consider it for the sake of
So you mean to say the financial burden of the salaries of the administration office should be borne exclusively by the government, as is done in the case of.
And if you see,
point is taken.
If you see, out of all the acquisitions done by the government, I am sure all will agree, 90% of the land has been acquired from the Comunidade.
Yes, correct.
So they should be under this of this, no?
Correct. Thank you.
At peanuts price.
Thank you. Mr. Prudent, please.
I have to tell my name once again. My name is John Philip Pereira from Nago, Comunidade. There was a decision taken last time, or we had deliberated on zonal committees.
No, that is the next point, sir. That you will have to wait for the next point. That is item number 3. That is the next point.
My name is Romano Gonsalves. I am the special attorney of Comunidade of Talapur. My point is regarding the donor administration. Now the problem is we are facing today, when we pass the resolution to the administrator saying that we come to the settlement of the dispute, then the administrator is sending that letter to the administration tribunal for the approval. When it goes to the administration tribunal, the administration tribunal is pointing out that you should take the approval of the government. Then it goes the file to the approval of the government. Government is this bothered and is sending the file back to the administrator saying that we are not approving the file, it is not within our jurisdiction. Now where we have to do? And here, if that file is not been approved, then the Comunidade is losing the revenue, lakhs of rupees. Here now what happened? Administration of tribunal is not losing the revenue, government is not losing, the Comunidade is suffering. So we want a decision, any one of them should finalize. Otherwise, as per the rule, administration tribunal is the final. Why we have to send a file to the government in the revenue department for the approval? That is not required. Then why the administration tribunal is there? So I want to say that this should be, file should go any one of the department, and that should be the final. It cannot make the dance both the sides. Because here the loser is the Comunidade, and Comunidade will lose the revenue. Both the government as well as the administration tribunal are not losing anything. What is the point?
To paraphrase your point, are you saying that the power which is now vested in the administrative tribunal to grant sanction should be taken away from the administrative tribunal and given to the government?
They are saying that you can get approval from the government. That is what I'm saying. I said the administrative tribunal should be finalized. One final authority. You should not send to the revenue department. Final authority. Only one. You cannot make that
Well, please
both
don't.
the sides. So you
Yes,
should,
please.
I want today should get that decision. It should be given only one department, not both the sides, because they are making you dance, and the file is pending for years and years.
Here there is a problem. It's
Yeah,
not the
please
administrative-
let the
It's not the administrative tribunal. The fellow who is sitting in the administrative tribunal should be suspended because he doesn't know how to
No,
talk about it.
no.
Here there is
Please,
a
please
problem. Here there is a representation come and he just transfers the file. Is he competent to handle the issue?
Please.
This is the issue.
Mr. Loyal, let us, we do not know remember one thing, the president of the administrative tribunal is a judicial officer. That judicial officer must be having his or her reasons why some decision is taken. Let us not, why he or she has transferred, we do not know. Do you know the facts of the case? Do you know this? Do you know which case he's talking about? No. Do you know which case he's talking about? And how can you just make this submission that somebody should be suspended? Please don't. Yes, sir. Please.
See, I'm Benedict D'Souza, technically a part of He has raised a very valid point. See, whenever many times government say this Komunidade are not functioning. So, whenever we want to do something, the administrators are not cooperating. When we want to file cases, they say the file is referred to the government. I can't understand what is happening. Earlier, when one of the components were nominated as administrators, he used to give direct permissions. I know why. Now these things have been, there is a lot of delay tactics to avoid this filing of cases by the Comunidade.
Sir, under Article 9, the administrator has got powers.
But he doesn't have. Our cases referred to the government forward. I want to file two negative declarations. It's not been done.
Sir, just may
Okay,
I clarify, sir, under Article 9, in urgent cases, the administrator is vested
No,
with
but why
powers.
it is referred to
Probably
the urgent case?
you have to put up the case in a nice case.
It is not-
He can be convinced with the urgency.
Two cases for negative declaration filed for missing.
Yeah, your point is
tenant lands.
Your point is not
Huh? I think so. The administrator is here. Yes,
Mr. Sir, you have to come here and please let us not take too much of time on this, because these are individual cases that we are discussing.
My case is referred to the government by the administrator.
There is no question of the administrator referring to the government. I think
If the managing committee takes a decision that some tenant, one minute.
please.
If the managing committee, you see although we say that as per the Comunidade code that we do not recognize the 1 and 14 form because that's a revenue department document, but ultimately in reality it's the records of the current recording of the land under the form 1 and 14 that helps us to carry on with our day-to-day administration. Now, if the managing committee has checked that some particular tenant recorded in the 114 is not proper, the current revenue laws say that you have to file for a negative declaration and get him to say that I have been falsely, wrongly, or whatever entered into that. Now, to get Comunidade's land back to the Comunidade itself, why we have to require government? You are not selling land, you are on the contrary getting a less.
No, I think these individual cases we can discuss.
We have filed for negative
Mr. Sola.
declarations. They are pending.
Mr. Sola, please conclude. Since you are on the podium, no.
Moderator,
Yeah.
Mr. Correa,
Yeah.
see what happens. I understand the problem of my friend Benedict, or before that Romano. See what happens. Although all those big resolutions sound very good and we all deliberated, but these are routine issues where our managing committees are running from pillar to post to sometimes resolve small issues. So I think some message, I don't say a resolution, some message should go to the government that this type of situations which don't require amendment in the law, it just requires an administrative executive order or a circular or some decision of the revenue department to clarify this.
Yes.
And that is the reason why I had supported what our moderator had suggested, to have some committee that carries on between one convention to another, where our members
can go and put to them, Baba, resolve this issue, visit the government. Today what happens? Individual. You have to understand that ultimately we have to talk to the government to resolve our issues. And today,
No, since you are there, you have
This is a very important habit
Would you like
Komunidade is facing. Whenever we want to do something, we don't get cooperation. They say financial implications are involved, this is involved, that is involved,
Yes.
and it is
Your point
referred
is
to.
taken. Your point is taken, sir. Your point is taken.
Secondly, the first point which was raised, one of the speakers, the administrative affairs should be appointed by the general body or the convention. It was done earlier. Go according to the code. Nominated by the government from
We will note that, sir. We
one
will
of the
note that.
components or whatever.
We will note that.
Pragata was also there earlier. Nominated by the government, he was one of the components. He knew something about the, and he was a lawyer also. He should give immediate permissions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
My one point clarification. Now you said as a moderator, you know the case regarding that. Now with this case, whom to give? You
Sir,
just give me the
my point is we do not know the facts of your
You know the
individual
case regarding the case, what is the status of the case.
Yes.
Now I want to put up the case to you. With whom I have to give my file now? You and
Sir,
give me the
please,
file
please,
right now.
yes.
To whom I have to give? You give me the answer for that.
Sir, after the sir, this is not the time for some legal
No,
advice.
you have
After
to
the
point out.
convention,
You have point out to me.
I will
point out to Delegates saying that
Please take
you
your
know the
seat.
case regarding the status of the case.
Please,
Now
take your
I
seat.
want to put the case to you as a moderator.
Please take
So
your
when I should come and put it to you?
Please, let me first get to know the facts of your case, sir. Then I will be able to reply.
See, moderator, we are on the issue of the staff and other things as far as this item in the agenda is concerned. So the issue is there are some communards which are financially sound and there are others which literally have no revenue, and that is why the Skrivams probably are given 7-8 communards. Now if the managing committees or the general body decide to have their own staff, okay, for assisting them, because today what has happened is managing committee and basically primarily the attorney has to run helter-skelter with all the problems, encroachments, court cases and everything, and is not even given any assistance for his attendance. So basically I would also like to say, one, that the Komunidade general bodies be allowed to have staff for themselves, because we had taken such a decision which is still pending. Similarly, we
So
had...
we will ask that all the decisions and the resolutions taken by managing committee should be disposed of by the administration.
And also
I think
sitting
that is,
sitting along for a lot of communards, because those communards which are financially sound, they need to, because you can't expect them to do charity
So
service.
even I am a member of, I am also facing the same
Yeah,
problem.
exactly.
So I can sympathize.
No, I
Yes.
think it is basically of this item, the agenda is with regards to staff
And
and
so good that the matter should be disposed in a time-bound manner.
Yeah,
Can be resolved.
with regards to even appointment of, if the Komunidade feels that they need to appoint somebody to assist them, because sometimes you have to run to the Mamladar, run to the deputy collector, run to the administrator office, because people are doing honorary work here.
Yes.
So if they have to be compensated, they have to be compensated, and if they need the assistance of a staff, temporarily they have to be compensated
Yes,
for that.
yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, just one request. I'm finding that the same people are coming. I would request a larger, a bit with due respect, sir. So if some more people also can come and delegates can
This
come.
solution, whatever pending things are with the government, the other activities already there, other positions are there. Because whenever any permission is sought from the administrator, if it is not coming, then there should be a deemed provision that within 30 days, that permission should be given. If it is not given, then there should be a deemed
Giving
provision
provision, yes.
that approval is given.
Okay. Yeah,
That should be there.
Mr. Montero, you want to speak on? Yeah. Yeah.
My short points, proposals on the item number 2 only. One is regarding the appointment of staff and employees like others said. It should not be on the government to employ staff for us, because we have seen, especially in South zone, I don't know about others, but in South zone, about 90% of the staff that has been appointed by the government is incompetent, not even properly educated for that post, and they are drawing government salaries. and our work is not happening.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
what, the appointment of staff should not be up to the government.
Yes. Point B.
One point. Second point is regarding the functioning of the administration. Now, when a managing committee takes a resolution, it is supposed to be sent to the administrator for approval or for whatever. They never come back with the approval. The resolutions are sent, but nothing comes back. They are held that, so we don't know whether
It should be in a time-bound manner. That's what is.
it should come back in a time whether approved or disapproved.
Yes.
Secondly, the administrator should have no powers to interfere with the budgets prepared by the Comunidade. Because when the managing committee prepares the budget and sends it there, they interfere with the budget, saying that item number 2, this much should be deducted, item number 4.
No, there is a judgment of the administrative tribunal where they have said that such changes cannot be done by the administrator.
Yeah, but the administrator keeps on doing it. So
Yes.
they should be told not to interfere it, and that happens mostly where we keep the quotient amount for the Dharama. If an amount of say 1 lakh is kept, they will say add to that item 6 lakhs.
That we can speak at a time of the
No, what I'm trying to say is, okay, if you are interfering in the budget,
send it back to the Comunidade.
and justify your recommendation.
Yes.
Justify your changes.
Okay.
When you make some changes, it has to be justified. You cannot
So
just
that we
say-
can speak on when we
No, this is regarding the functioning I'm talking about. And we make correspondence. The president or the attorney makes correspondence to the Comunidade. That correspondence has to return with a reply.
Yes.
It never returns. So these things have to be made mandatory that they reply. Otherwise it is as if we are just making complaints, nothing is coming back.
Yes. Mr. Souza, you want to say something on RTI? You want to?
Yeah, no, I just.
Be brief.
I think all of us are in agreement that the zonal administration officers appointment of staff, but here I think you have the zonal advisory councils.
That is the next item.
Yeah. So you should club it together because otherwise, this is absolutely related to that.
Okay. Open up the item.
And I say,
Let us get to the next point. Give him a time.
1 minute. You can come and speak.
I can see.
See, what I'm saying, there are two issues. One is the zonal administration offices, zonal councils that we had proposed in the Comunidade Commission. These will help sort out what Mr. Monteiro had just spoken now and many others, and my friend Benedict. If this zonal advisory council is there, it will help the administrator in discharging his duties in a much better way. Moreover, we know the administrators are being transferred frequently, which is not a good thing. Administrator once appointed should be there at least for 3 years, I feel. This should be one of our recommendations.
Yes.
That let the system continue that a government official is discharging the duties. But I think the charge should be for a minimum of 3 years so that there's some continuity in the process. Here I know what is happening in our own Comunidades. The administrator countersigns our checks, which we have adopted. It's not part of the law, but we have accepted that fact. But if the bank, we have to go to and fro and get those signatures
That
changed.
3 years has got its dangers because if we are saddled with an incompetent person, we have to bear him for 3 years.
Yeah, but then somewhere we have to
Balance.
balance both.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, no, and I'll come to that RTI which you were talking about. Now see, every Comunidade is responsible to its components, its gamkas or its shareholders. And I am saying, I'll repeat, that all the shareholders and gamkas should get all the information they want pertaining to every decision their managing committee has taken.
88D. Article
Immediately.
88D. Yes.
Article
88D. Yes. 88D.
88T.
88.
88T. Now what I'm saying, of late, there have been some sweeping RTIs made to the administrator's office or to the revenue department by some non-stakeholder of the Comunidades wanting to know all the Comunidade lands that are available in Goa. Now, are these questions to be entertained? No, just because we come under RTI, I appreciate RTI is a very important and potent tool in the hands of the ordinary citizen. But when Comunidades are concerned, while we want to be as transparent as possible to our councillors, members, shareholders, or whoever has got any stake in that particular administration, such sweeping RTIs need to be looked at carefully, and I know that this decision is still pending judicial
In the High
scrutiny.
Court. The High Court.
But we need to understand whether this issue needs to be deliberated more
Yes.
in this August Assembly. Thank you.
Point.
The office of the administrator concerned RTI, not private body. Under the private body,
Yes.
can you go to Salandar's office and ask him under RTI, give me information?
Point is
you can
taken,
get
point is
the-
taken.
You cannot do that. They are private bodies. Now, the point comes about this article, about this thing, functioning of the administrator's office. They give demolition notices, but don't act for months together. This was...
That we will bring under the last, when we discuss the last point. Please.
And secondly, I'm finding...
Regarding advisory councils, I think Mr. D'Souza mentioned about the Comunidade Commission report. Prior to that, in the writ petition 406 of 2009 filed by Celestine Orona, that was one of the points in the petition. Thereafter, I don't know if Mr. Souza remembers, you had moderated the 2009 convention. There also the resolution had been taken by the convention to establish these zonal councils. So I think this is, we have received a request that is...
The main point comes, that the revenue is not coming, you are not healthy. What happens to our land revenue?
Sir, that we will
entire land is down.
we'll discuss in the next point, sir. Sir,
Actually, please put up the...
Article helps you.
I just put up the draft resolution. Please, Mr. Fernandez, take us. This is just a draft. I'll request any please.
Moderator, I think also in continuation of that, what is also important is the records with regards to staff and other things. Because if you look at
Records
records of the Comunidade and the administration.
No, that we will take under item number 7, preservation of old records. Okay, the meeting took note of the grievances and submissions made by the delegates with respect to their administration offices and unanimously resolved to call upon the government to revamp and tone up the working of the 3 zonal offices and to ensure that matters such as resolutions and decisions are disposed in a time-bound and transparent manner. Secondly, the meeting resolved to urge the government to appoint full-time administrators as well as distributions in Comunidades, keeping in mind the financial situation of individual Comunidades. Additional distributions must be appointed at the earliest in consultation with the Comunidades. The financial burden of the administration of Comunidades should be borne by the government. Strict action should be taken against distributions who do not attain their duties in their respective Comunidades. The meeting also called upon the government to look into and take immediate action on the issue of illegally appointed employees in the administration of Comunidade South Zone, an issue that has been dealt with in detail in the Comunidades Commission report. The meeting I will not say further. The meeting called upon the government to look into the jurisdictional issue of Ponda Comunidades raised by who had raised that point? Somebody from Boli. Raised by the delegate of Shiroda Comunidade. We say to examine the meeting further resolved to request the government to examine the jurisdictional issue of Ponda Comunidades raised by the delegate representing Shiroda Comunidade. Is that okay? Request and consider. The meeting also considered the submissions made with respect to applicability of RTI Act to Comunidades and expressed opinion that it is debatable since the Comunidades enjoy a fair amount of autonomy under the Code of Comunidades and do not receive government grants and are private bodies liable to pay income tax and hence not public authorities. The Code has sufficient inherent provisions to enable components/counters to access any information of their respective Comunidades in a transparent manner. Madam, you want to say something?
We had said the administrator should be appointed from the components.
Okay.
Because these government employees, they are influenced by political affiliation. Put that down. Note. Please note.
Yes, yes, ma'am. You will have to come here, ma'am.
I'm registering on service on NIO Comunidade. So they have raised, put in the resolution that there is illegal staff appointed in South Zone. Just make it common, say all three zones. Because in North also we have the same problem. We don't know whom to deal with. Suddenly there's a new staff not appointed by the government and we don't know whom to deal with. And then we are asked to pay the salaries also. So make it all three zones.
Thank you.
So my suggestion was therefore amendment that if approval is not received within 30 days by the managing committee, then it should be there should be a deemed provision that it should be treated as approved.
Yes.
It should be there.
So just to clarify, we are updating the resolution as you put it. The actual minutes are recorded by them. Since we want the resolution to be drafted on the spot, in case, yeah.
It takes a little bit of time for us to transfer. The meeting further resolved that powers to grant sanction for compromise of suits should be retained by the administrative tribunal and not referred to the government. Is it okay? Yes, thank you. Yes, and not refer to the government. He's okay with this.
No, it should be at administrator level, not at the tribunal. What Tulio is saying is very correct. Independently appointed. Just to give permission. not be telling us in a proper manner.
No, let us not discuss individual cases because we don't know the facts of this case and the time is too short to know the whole thing. But I think what point he was making is that if it is let the tribunal powers be retained, not the government. That's what he said. Finalized by tribunal. That is what he said. That is what he said. We want the resolutions to be displayed and approved here, so that is transparency in what we are doing. That's why you have to bear with us this time. The speakers who would like to speak on the next point can issue of Dona, if anybody wants to.
No, this resolution is not displayed. Corrected one.
Can be prepared. You want to say something? It's already said that we reiterate our demand for the advisory council. That it is required. We are requesting the government to constitute this. Yes. Should be. Amendment would be because it requires some statutory backing and there will be some committee that can be. Amendment, yes. Item number 3, I'll just start in a meanwhile. The meeting recalled the recommendation to establish advisory council at all zonal administration offices made by the 2009 convention, as well as in the Komunidade Commission report thereafter. The delegates unanimously reiterated the demand to establish demand for establishment of such advisory councils that inter alia would give Komunidades a greater say in the functioning of their administration offices and called for appropriate amendments to the code of Komunidades forthwith. Mr. Soda, is it okay? You are listening to me? Sorry. Okay. I'll just repeat for you. No, I am reading item number 3 in advance. The meeting recalled a recommendation to establish advisory councils at all zonal administration offices made by the 2009 convention as well as in the Komunidades Commission report thereafter. The delegates unanimously reiterated the demand for establishment of such advisory councils that inter alia would give Komunidades a greater say in the functioning of their administration offices and call for appropriate amendments to the code of Komunidades forthwith. I think that's very good. Okay, the second one, first item, can we have it? The meeting took note of the grievances and submissions made by delegates with respect to the administration offices and unanimously resolved to call upon the government to revamp and tone up the working of the 3 zonal offices and to ensure that matters such as resolutions and decisions are disposed in a time-bound and transparent manner. I think here the we can add it here. In the time-bound and transparent manner. The meeting further resolved that the powers to grant sanction for compromise of suits, 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 should be retained by the administrative tribunal and not referred to the government. Power to compromise suits is not given to the government. Yeah. No, is there a proposal to amend it? Because we have not heard of it. So you want it to be retained with the administrative tribunal? That's fine. Article 349 read with 350. Yeah. Okay. Is this then the next one? Yeah. Secondly, the meeting resolved to urge the government to appoint full-time administrators as well as history-bounds. That's spelling of history-bound in Komunidades, keeping in mind the financial situation of individual Komunidades. Additionally, history-bounds must be appointed at the earliest in consultation with the Komunidades. The financial burden of the administration of Komunidades should be borne by the government. Strict action should be taken against history-bounds who do not attend to their duties in their respective Komunidades. The meeting also called upon the government to look into and take immediate action on the issue of illegally appointed employees in the administration of Komunidades South Zone. I think yes, sir. What South Zone should come? Administration of Komunidades. Sorry, an issue that has been dealt with in detail in the
This full-time administrators we had said should be appointed from the components.
No, that is coming.
It is not mentioned there.
Just one word is coming, that has been dealt with in detail in the Comunidade Commission report. I think that line is getting hidden because of the size of our list. The meeting also requested that administrators may be appointed from amongst components having knowledge of code of Comunidade. Mr. Delhi, just in code of Comunidade. The meeting resolved. The meeting resolved to request the government to look into the jurisdiction issue of Panda Comunidades raised by the delegate representing Comunidade Boli. The meeting also considered the submissions. Shiva, I'm sorry. Comunidade of Shiva. Please correct that Comunidade of Shiva. Comunidade of Shiva. Then we have full stop after that. The meeting also considered the submissions made with respect to applicability of the RTI Act to Comunidades and expressed opinion that it is debatable since the Comunidades enjoy a fair amount of autonomy under the Code of Comunidades. There's something and do not receive government grants and are private bodies liable to pay income tax and hence are not public authorities. That word are to come. The Comunidade has sufficient inherent provisions to enable components governments to access any information of their respective Comunidades in a transparent manner. Is this okay? Can we adopt this resolution? It is, we have said our own staff limit. Can we see that? No, previous slide. No, I think that keeping in mind the financial situation of individual Comunidades and in consultation with the Comunidades. I think that okay, it's there in the next line. Additional estimate must be appointed at earliest in consultation with the Comunidades. So I think that covers that. Mr. Tommy, I think it covers. Yeah. Okay. We move to the next point. Deemed approval. Do we agree on deemed approval? Because that can, I mean, from our experience, that can create that can be misused also, that provision, that deemed approval. But that will give the administrator to apply it, not to reject or approve. Time-bound manner is. If the time-bound manner is there, and if they don't, then what happens? What if they don't give that time? Okay, we'll mention about deemed approval also. And the proposals will be deemed to be approved if the timeline is not followed. Yeah, is it okay? Next point is to deliberate the issues of Dona. There was some people delegates. Sorry. Okay.
Send you the next one.
To the court, yes. And that they have been pursuing since 2009 after Celesti's package and account convention. The meeting recalled the recommendation to establish an advisory council at all zonal administration offices made by the 2009 convention as well as in the Comunidade Commission report thereafter. The delegates unanimously reiterated the demand for establishment of such advisory councils that inter alia would give Comunidades a greater say in the functioning of the administration offices and called for appropriate amendments to the Code of Comunidades for it. Yeah, we adopt this. Next one, we come to Dona. I'll just read that. Yeah, point number 4. Sorry, point number 4. One minute. This input for this came from one chartered accountant, Mr. Elson Sequeira. Is he here with us? Okay. Mr. Sequeira is a chartered accountant and he's also a component of Konkani. He has made some suggestions. Sir, please. Good afternoon, friends. I am Elson Sequeira, chartered accountant practicing in Moscow for the last almost 30 years. I've been handling some of the Comdas for the last over 25 years. And I had given some suggestions regarding the amendment which we could propose to the government. It's just to streamline the accounting systems, the accounting procedures of the Comdas. My first suggestion is that today we are having a sort of a single entry accounting system where we write the cash book, the bank book. At the end of the day or at the end of the year, I think we cannot really draw the correct accounting financial statements like the trial balance, the receipts and payment account, the balance sheets. These are things which we cannot really draw from the present accounting system what we have. So I suggest that we could go for a double entry accounting system, which even I think the government is pursuing, even for municipalities, they have suggested that we should go for a double accounting system, where you have the income, expenditure, assets, liabilities. All these things will give you a fair picture of the Comdas assets, the liabilities, what Comdas has, what Comdas has to pay, what is the running during the year, what is the expenditure during the year. This will give us a fair idea of where each Comdas stands at the end of the year. Now again, these are the statements which we require to file also with the income tax department. Because everybody, you all know, the Comdas, the High Court, I think the Honorable High Court of Mumbai, of Goa, the Mumbai High Court, has had in the case of Comdas of Maharashtra, if I am not mistaken, that you are all liable for income tax. That's what it is. And now for the last, I think, for more than 20 years, I think all of us are paying the income tax to the government. And this is the statement which are also required. Which is a part of the income tax returns what we are filing. So that you and I be sure that the correct taxes are paid to the government. And the Comdas did not come into some sort of a problems because of this. So that is my first suggestion, which we should have. Now that will also help us today. It is not necessary that we should go only on the manual. Today you can go on, you have so many software packages. Forget a package, some people the computer, everything was on the computer today. Even if you don't have a software package, no issue, even Excel, with a simple tool, you can all draw up your accounts very nicely. Not necessary that you have to spend money on big accounting packages. My second point of suggestion is that our Comdas accounting year comes to an end in February. We follow that procedure of March to Feb. But as per Indian accounting system, all companies act, income tax, partnership act, every act, our year is from April to March. And whenever you are filing, the Comdas are filing the income tax return, again we rework the whole thing to come in line with the Income Tax Act. So it is a suggestion that our financial year will also be from April to March. My third suggestion is that, the way I said, accrual system of accounting. Now when I say accrual system of accounting, today what we are mostly following is a cash system of accounting. Money comes, we account. Somebody has to pay us, don't account. Money paid, accounted. But to get the correct, true and fair picture, which even the income tax department wants from us, we may be also having GST issue later on the Comdas, but anyway, I will not touch upon that. But the income tax issue is what we are having most of the time now. Is that it does not give us a proper picture as when you are honest on a distributed basis. The accrual system of accounting, what happens is that you account what you have received the money. You also account what you have receivable during the year, during each year. So it gives us the correct position of the performance of the managing committee, performance of the Comdas, to say, okay, this is what it is. So it is again expenditure. We account the expenditure which has been incurred, spent. We also have to account the expenditure which is liable to be paid. Now when you account the expenditure liable to be paid, that also helps you to reduce your income tax. Because you are paying your tax on the net of the expenditure and the income. That is what I would suggest to have an equivalent system of accounting. And basically we are having most of the time, we are having issues now, friends. Basically because most of the Congress have got income from interest on fixed deposits. Is what is the major source of funds. And today the banks are deducting the TDS, the tax deducted at source. The banks are deducting on their own. Now what happens is, you have an FD for 3 years. The bank is deducting interest each year. For each year they deduct the interest on the, what is interest accrued to you. That is what you are entitled to receive. Now you may say, I am receiving my fixed deposit received after 3 years. Why should I pay tax now? This would be on the interest. On the interest, why should I pay tax now? Now the question is what happens, the income tax exchange, that very clearly, that is on the accrual system. Every year income you have to account. So that part interest you have to take into your books. Even though the contract does not receive the money, you receive it after 3 years, the interest, along with the principal. Now, again the TDS is cut. Mind you, 10% of the TDS is cut by the bankers. Again, the income tax laws. If the TDS is deducted in the financial year 23-24, what we are in now, you have to claim that TDS within a period of 2 years only. That is 25-26. If your FD is going to mature in 27, you cannot claim that TDS in 27. And when you are claiming your TDS in that respective year, your income has to be declared. Otherwise, next year the computer will get a nice notice from the department which is all computerized, which clearly say that signature of the officer is not required. But this is what is happening now. So I would suggest that equal system of accounting would be a better option for us. The next suggestion, friend, what I have is audit. There is a provision in the code which says that an audit is to be conducted if your income is above 5,000. I hope I am right on that. Above 5,000. Now audit when you do, I don't know, any chartered accountant rule, if your income is just 7,000 and you have to go for an audit, I don't know what will be the fees of the chartered accountant. I don't think any chartered accountant will do for an audit for, I just say, I don't know. So I would suggest that particular provision, we could recommend to raise it to 1 crore income. Because that is what is the income tax limit today for a tax audit, what we call the tax audit, where a chartered accountant has to necessarily sign the reports. So if that could come in line with the income tax act where the limit is today is 1 crore. I have one more suggestion which I will not discuss, but just the thought crossed my mind. As a component of Comunidade, I myself sometimes have trouble to see my own accounts. To put it that way. I would suggest like our temples and churches, wherein the accounts are kept open for the public. In our case, the components. Maybe 3 days in a year, after the accounts are finalized, for each year, the components could go and maybe one, like in the case of churches, I know they have one specific Sunday and then continuous Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Well, Sunday is compulsory. I mean, one holiday. That can be very optional. I'm this thing on that. I know that's only certain day. But it could be kept open for 3 days for the members, for the components to come and have a look at the account if they require to see. So what happens is that the components get an idea, a fair idea what has happened during that financial year. So my suggestion, friends, thank you for giving me an opportunity, especially the organizing committee, and for all of you to listen.
From the accounting point of view, when you sell the land, suppose in my area the land is costing 1 lakh rupees, and the land I sell is for 40 paise. Can you hear me? When you sell the land at 40 paise, do you get income tax notice for undervaluing selling your land?
No, he's not, Mr. Security.
My point.
Whether you want to
The point is, when the market value is 1 lakh rupees per square meter, and we go and sell the land at 40 paise,
income tax comes in the picture, or he just closes his eyes and say everything is fine.
In the convention of, in fact, I agree that is the issue what we are having nowadays, where the market value is 1 lakh. I agree you say that you acquire it, somebody acquires it, the government acquires it. I had a specific case in one of the Communidade which I had handled. But let me make it one thing very clear. I think this is a free opinion I am giving to all of you. Make here. When you have capital gains, that is called capital gains. Because your land cost is maybe, now in your case you are selling for 1 lakh. Let us assume your land cost is, no, that is acquiring. First let me touch upon your selling price. Now you are having a land. Now the cost of the land stays now. There is again a cut-off, which is given by the Income Tax Act. Because we were from much before the Income Tax Act came in 1961. So our land has got certain values or there are no recorded values, whatever it is. But what happens is that the cut-off. 1st April 2001 is the cut-off given by the Income Tax Department. It is given by the Income Tax Department. Where today if you are selling your land or a land is acquired by the government, if the land is acquired by the government, what you have to do is, first of all you have to go to a valuer and take a valuation of the land on 1st April 2001. Now the land cost is 10,000 as on 1st April 2001. So now the government gives you the inflation index cost, which is 300, which is the 3 times. So you are getting, now your land cost is there, that inflation index cost is come to say 40,000. Yes, thank you. Now you are selling.
My point is not acquiring the land. I am going to the court, and these are the court that gives order for taking over your land. This is the dues. What is happening? I am just is this normal auditing procedure followed by the Indian Union?
That is the law. Yeah. So I think we just pick up the now the question is the land cost is 40,000. Now the land cost is 40,000. You are sold for 1 lakh. So 60,000 is the difference. 60,000 is the difference, which is not your capital gain. Now your 40,000 is what you have, is your 60,000 first parameter is your capital gain. Is your capital gain. Okay? Is your capital gain. Now what is happening is, the value of like this case, the value is 1 lakh. Now let us come to it. The value of the land is 1 lakh. We are selling it for say for calculation purpose, let us say 45, let us say 10,000. So 90,000 is the loss, what we have. Like now that loss can be carried forward. No, it is not required. See, that is our. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. They can acquire or they can't acquire. I am not. Thank you. Okay, this is my point. Thank you very much, Mr. Okay, I just read the draft. That is what we are doing. Yeah. Mr. Nelson Sikera, Chartered Accountant and Special Invitees suggested that the accounting methods of the Komunidade be migrated to the double entry accounting system and use of electronic technology in account keeping, accounting year of the Comunidades must begin on 1st April, accounts of the Comunidades must be maintained on accrual basis and not on cash basis, and compulsory audit must be mandated only for those Comunidades having annual income of rupees 1 crore, thus bringing it in line with the provisions of the Income Tax Act. The meeting found merit in the submissions of the special invitee and felt that need for reforms in the Komunidade accounting procedures and systems to bring them in line with modern practices and recommended appropriate amendments to the Code of Comunidades in this respect.
Yes, one point on that I wanted to make is that can we make a proposal